house at some point, maybe have to deal with a lawn, like a grass lawn. So today, I would like to talk to you about a few negative effects that grass lawns have on the environment. Turf grass lawns in America use lots of our drinking water in order to grow properly. And we use dangerous chemicals to keep these lawns lush and green, to keep up with our neighbors. Lawn care and maintenance burns large amounts of fossil fuels. And actually, when these lawns are cut too often, they release massive amounts of nitrous oxide into the atmosphere. These are concerns for all of us, and I've done extensive research, so I believe this qualifies me to bring these things to you. So let's start with our drinking water. Lawn care requires a lot of potable water. According to NASA, roughly 200 gallons per person per day. Lawn care, using drinking water so your lawn is the nicest on the block is an unsustainable practice, period. Many households have inefficient watering systems as well, where up to actually half the water being used, it just becomes runoff. And this is our drinking water. And in dry areas, like Arizona or Las Vegas, water consumption is such a serious issue where they actually have to have city inspectors drive around and they ticket anyone who's misusing their water. Why would someone put their lawn so far above the rest of the community that not only would they risk a fine, but I mean they're stealing their neighbor's water in a drought environment. Remember, this is our drinking water. So let's actually look at what chemicals are inside that runoff working its way into our drinking water. The fertilizers used for lawn maintenance contain several toxic chemicals which make their way into the groundwater, and your kids and pets will definitely be rolling around in it. Beyond Pesticides, a nonprofit organization, says suburban lawn care in the United States actually accounts for more pesticide use per acre than the entire agriculture industry. I'm going to throw some numbers at you from the same organization real quick. Of the 30 commonly used lawn pesticides, 17 are detected in groundwater, 23 will leach in the future, 16 are toxic to birds, 24 are toxic to fish, and 11 are actually deadly to bees. Bees, we know, are actually an ecological marker in our system. If they go, we know something's wrong. Nitrates, which are found in most fertilizers, are highly soluble and will also readily leach into the groundwater. Phosphorus is another common chemical in fertilizers, and it actually harms clear water by creating algae blooms. This is going to turn the water green, cause odor problems, and eventually it's going to suffocate all the fish and wildlife in there. On the brighter side, though, our lawn is watered, and we've got the right chemicals in there to grow it properly. So now we're going to cut it, because obviously. The bottom line is mowing 40 million acres of lawns burns a huge amount of fossil fuels and contributes to global pollution. A recent study at the University of California said the amount of carbon dioxide emitted from lawn-related maintenance is actually 4 times the amount of the carbon that's actually naturally stored in the grasses, so it's being offset. Lawnmowers alone actually account for 5% of the air pollution in all of the U.S. And according to the Earth Institute from the Columbia University, each year more than 17 million gallons of fuel are just spilled during the refueling of lawn and garden equipment. That's actually more oil that was spilled than the Exxon Valdez. With our current technological limitations, fossil fuels are actually a limited resource for us, and we should use them in a more efficient manner. But our lawn looks sweet, it's cut, it's probably the best on the block, but it actually turns out that lawns are mowed too often. They release large amounts of nitrous oxide and they store less organic carbon, which is one of the good things about grass. And nitrous oxide is actually a greenhouse gas, just like carbon dioxide, only it's 300 times more effective at trapping heat in our atmosphere. A recent study from the Smithsonian Magazine showed that excessive lawn maintenance can generate nitrous oxide in amounts 4 times greater than the amount of carbon that a lawn can store. These numbers are actually increased significantly in areas like golf courses and athletic fields, where the grass is cut so short that, I mean, it barely has any carbon storage at all. Of course, if you can convince your neighbors, let your grass run wild, the carbon offset will actually be really great. That's one of the great things about grass. There's so many more issues we could discuss today, but I'd like to wrap it up for now. We've heard a bunch of numbers, a ton of information. Most of it's really not that good for a sustainable future. I mean, we're using our drinking water and lots of it to keep our lawns green. Keeping our lawns green is actually leaving toxic residue everywhere. I mean, literally everywhere. And mowing and trimming our lawns is burning fossil fuels. Cutting these lawns actually too often will release nitrous oxide, which is a dangerous greenhouse gas, much worse than carbon dioxide ever was. So this is actually Dr. Paul Robbins. He's a professor of geography and regional development at the University of Arizona. You really can't hear him.
On that,
It's on like a little black box right in front.
yeah.
Well, that failed miserably. Well, imagine this. Instead of a grass lawn in front of every house, there was like a sweet vegetable garden. Whatever you wanted. I mean, it would definitely have a lot of problems. But hey guys, thanks for your time, and I appreciate it.